And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruby, and this is my review for the latest JoJo Bizarre's Adventure. This is the first female Jo, and this arc is called Stone Ocean. We have 12 glorious episodes to watch. Let me know in the comments below, were you excited to see what they were going to do with this part of the manga adaptation? It's also now a Netflix original. I guess they've bought the rights to it and made it a Netflix original. Let me know your thoughts. Let's jump in. Florida, 2011. Framed for a DUI and imprisoned, young Jolyne gains a mysterious new power after receiving a bizarre item from her estranged father. This JoJo arc story takes place mostly at a prison, or just outside the prison, or going into the prison. Its animation is very similar, or pretty much the same as the previous JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It obviously takes the first female Jo, and we see her from her origins of her power. I thought that was a really interesting way to do it. It's similar in the other arcs, but I just felt like this was fresh and different, even though it keeps to the same styles. You have those moments where the stills are still, but they're panning, and then you get to hear inside the voice of the character monologuing along. Reminds me, exactly, it will fit in, but it'll also feel a bit fresh. I really like the voice work in both the original language, also in the dubbing. The dubbing isn't that bad, so if you're one who struggles with dubbing, I think you'll be fine listening to the dubbing, but I always suggest watching the original. Now, as for the story, I thought it was a lot of fun and is as crazy as you'd expect the story to be. Well, once Jolyne forms a sort of team to find out information about what's going on with the arc, which is basically to do with her father and trying to help him. Once she forms her team, that is where the story kind of centers on. And in between that, each episode, we're kind of being introduced to another power user, and how those are shown on screen is where the fun is at with this series. I think you're going to love the way they showcase how they fight, how they showcase what they can do with their powers. That is where part of the appeal for the wackiness is when it comes to JoJo, because it often gets quite dark. You're not expecting it to go as dark as it is. It often goes quite adult. It's very humorous, kind of ticks all the boxes, but for an older generation, that's why it's 15 and up. It definitely tackles some adult themes. It has some adult content in it, and it's also bizarre. The reason why it's in the title is absolutely 100% bizarre, but that's what makes it fun. There are unique fight mechanics that I feel like they showcase, particularly in this series. I think it's more than midway through this season, where we have a fight in water, and we're seeing how their enemy at the time is using their power, and each power is totally unique, and how they fight with their powers like against each other is often a battle of wits, which is what I really like. As long as you can outthink them, because you're coming up against someone else that has a unique power that can seemingly destroy you, and you always seem to be the underdog. Jolyne is just coming into her power, although she has learned how to use it very quickly because she has that Joestar blood in her bloodline, and she is as quirky and weird as her father, but has a bit of angst in there to go with her character. That is fun, but she's coming up against characters that are stronger than her with unique abilities, which is where it comes into the mind thinking. If you can outwit your enemy, then you can stay alive. And it does always feels like she's kind of up against the fence or wall as to how she can try and outwit the enemy, because they are so much more stronger. Just when you think she's gotten hold of her power and she can manifest her power in a way that, it's physical form as well as unique, minute little ways of using it cleverly, she is again overpowered by the enemy. And I think that's obviously kind of part and parcel when it comes to anime. You can't have your hero just totally overpowered and winning all the time. There'd be no fun. So it has that classic underdog story, but at the same time we're doing an investigation, which I think it makes it really fun. You're trying to find out why they're going after Jolyne or the father, and there's a whole history that has come before. But I also think if this is your first time into the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure world, I think you'd be okay. You'd pick up things. There's definitely some things that you're not going to know, but for the most part I think you can jump in and feel at home, and then maybe go and watch the other arcs, because they're separate arc stories. It's a different Jo each time. I think you're going to enjoy them. But I would definitely suggest, if you find yourself really enjoying this and you just come into it and you go, what am I watching? You happen to click on this arc, I would say go back to the beginning and enjoy it in all its glory. It's one of the weirdest animes, but the most enjoyable, I think. I think you'll find yourself, once you've started, you'll be totally invested. Let me know your thoughts about this particular particular season. I thought it's interesting. We're just getting started. This isn't a complete story. There's a lot more to come. There's a lot more manga to adapt in this particular story. So I think there'll be another season or two at least. Don't quote me on that, but as far as I've read, there's a lot more to come with this story. So I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 Nicolas Cages. I don't know where I would rank the rest. I'd have to go back and give it a refresher course on the other arcs, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on where you think this stands. Did you enjoy it as much, or did you not enjoy it at all? I'd love to hear why. Thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.